Joining me live now, one of the 5 Democrats on the Benghazi Committee, Congressman Adam Schiff of California. Congressman, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, you bet. And I have to say, listening to that comment by our chairman, what he didn't say is that we haven't had a single hearing since the beginning of the year with anyone not named Clinton. We've only had one hearing this year. That is with Secretary Clinton. One hearing, that is, since the very beginning when we had a State Department witness come in on document production. The hearings with our chair, chiefs, the hearing with the head of CIA, the hearing with the defense secretary, all of that's been canceled. So it's very clear what this committee is all about, and it's all about Secretary Clinton. You
know, it's interesting. You were on Meet the Press Sunday with Republican Benghazi Committee member Mike Pompeo of Kansas, and he says that the Democrats on the committee and the Obama administration have played, quote, hide the ball, denying access to records that the committee needs to complete its investigation. And he says that's why the committee is taking so long, 17 months so far. Your response to that?
Well, I think it's a bunch of hooey. Certainly it has taken time for the State Department to respond to these ever-changing document requests they've gotten from the majority. The scope of this committee started out with Benghazi, and then it became all of Libya. It started out with one time period, and then became a much broader time period. But, of course, those complaints don't answer the question why we haven't had the defense secretary come in. They haven't been complaining about document production from the Defense Department. If they were really interested in these other witnesses, they could have brought them in. We haven't brought in the CIA director, as they said they would. So I think that the document delays that they're citing, while some of them are real, are just an excuse to try to push this testimony as far into the presidential cycle as possible.
What are you expecting Thursday? I mean, you see now that Chairman Gowdy, for example, really pushing back even on Republicans who have said that this is now all about Hillary Clinton. We know that there was some money that was raised, and Gowdy's campaign returned 3 donations after the Washington Post inquired about links to a political action committee that aired a controversial ad about the Benghazi attacks. The ad was produced by Stop Hillary PAC. So there is an attempt to try to clean this up and refocus it by the Republicans and to refute these claims. But what do you see playing out Thursday?
Well, the problem with the claims by Representative McCarthy and others is that, first of all, they come from the Republicans' own leadership. Those who were in the room, and it's a very small number, when Speaker Boehner, against his better judgment, decided to form this select committee, McCarthy is one of the people in the room. So he, among a very small group, can say what this was really about, and he has. And even if you want to discount that, and you want to ignore Representative Hanna, and you want to ignore the Republicans' own hand-picked investigator, who is now a whistleblower, let's go by what the chairman said. The chairman says, evaluate us by our actions, not by the words of our own members. Well, the actions of the committee have been the most damning of all, because they have had a singular focus on Secretary Clinton. In terms of what to expect this week, I think as a result of these comments, these admissions by their own members that essentially the committee, the emperor, has no clothes, I think they will go through the motions of pretending to be interested in the facts of Benghazi, something that they haven't shown much interest in for the last 17 months. I think it will only be in the very later stages of this long hearing, and it will go on for hours and hours, will we get a sense of what they're really interested in, and that is an attempt to score points against the secretary. A final point I would make is it now seems clear that one of the things they hope to do is challenge the secretary on overall Libya policy. Well, that's really not a job for our committee. That's a job for the political campaigns. It may be a job for the Foreign Affairs Committee to look into policy questions, but it is, I think, yet another abuse of this taxpayer-funded investigative committee.
All right, Congressman Adam Schiff, thank you so much for your time. We will see